Welcome back to the channel, football fans. We are a quarter of the way through the WWPF season, and weeks 3 and 4 delivered absolute fireworks. We're talking massive blowouts, historic stat lines, and 5 teams cementing themselves as the undefeated juggernauts of the league. Let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into the Week 3 recap. Week 3 was defined by offenses lighting up the scoreboard and a few standout defenders wrecking game plans. The Bills handed the Vikings a 37-24 loss, largely off the back of Hidalgo, who rushed 18 times for 216 yards. The Chargers outlasted the Broncos in a 42-35 thriller. Despite losing the game, Denver's Majiko was 37-48 for 429 yards with 4 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions. And then, of course, we have the reigning and defending champions, Invisible Witness and his Panthers absolutely dismantled the Saints with a 42-16 win, largely on the arm of Bakel, who went 22 of 31 for 409 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. There were some really top-notch offensive performances this week. Miami's Marcus Witten was incredibly efficient, going 22 of 25 with 403 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. We mentioned Chicago's Albert Hidalgo, who put his team on his back, rushing 18 times for a whopping 216 yards. You know Cotton's got to be happy about that. San Diego's Tedor Irvin wasn't the player of the game, but he aired it out for 419 yards and 3 touchdowns, though he did throw 2 interceptions in the process. And we already mentioned Ron Baker, who torched the defense with his 490 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. New Orleans defensive tackle Ray Perez was an absolute nightmare for the offensive line of Carolina, racking up 4 tackles, 4 sacks, and forcing a fumble. Not to be left out was the Cleveland Browns' Lee Baxley, who also got in on the fun with 4 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. If you thought that Week 3 was crazy, Week 4 told defenses to take a seat. We saw some of the most lopsided scores of the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers put up a jaw-dropping 63 points to crush the Commanders 63-35. The Miami Dolphins were right behind them, blowing out the Green Bay Packers 59-14. Congratulations to Shark. He pitched the first shutout of the year, playing a perfect game on defense, shutting Cotton and his Bills out 45-0. The Chargers put up a 50-burger of their own, handling the Saints a 52-24 loss. San Diego's Tedor Irvin continued his tear, going 23 for 36 with 452 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Pittsburgh's quarterback Jesse Payne was the architect of that 63-point game, throwing for 360 yards and an incredible 6 touchdowns. Seattle running back Eric Guerrero was a workhorse, rushing 27 times for 190 yards with 3 touchdowns. And not to forget our second leading rusher, Clark Farrell. Clark Farrell also dominated on the ground with 25 carries for 189 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Dolphins. Defensive standouts, there weren't many this week, but we do have to acknowledge Baltimore's free safety Harry Joyner, who anchored the secondary with 9 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Before we look ahead, let's look at the landscape of the league after 4 weeks. We have 5 teams sitting perfectly at 4-0. The Carolina Panthers, coached by Invisible Witness, the Atlanta Falcons, the Cleveland Browns, coached by Bio Eagle, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the New York Jets, coached by Kev. On the other side of the coin, it's panic time for the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys, who are all desperately searching for their first win at 0-4. Let's take a look at our stat leaders. Atlanta's Albert Shaw leads the league with passing with 1,592 yards. Minnesota's Alvin Osborne is pacing the running backs with 565 rushing yards, just edging out Miami's Clark Farrell and Indianapolis's Larry Ventura. Week 5 is on the horizon, and we have some heavyweight clashes you do not want to miss. The marquee matchups for the week of course, is Soa and Kev. The Dolphins and the Jets. The 4-0 Jets put the perfect record on the line against a dangerous 3-1 Dolphin squad fresh off a 59-point performance. Starfinder and his Bengals will take on me and my Steelers. The 4-0 Steelers try to keep the momentum going against a very tough 3-1 Bengals team in a crucial division rivalry game. In the other division rivalry game, the CPU Ravens will take on Bio Eagle and his Browns. The undefeated 4-0 Browns face a major test against the 3-1 Ravens, who are looking to upset the order of the AFC North. In the winless bowl, the 0-4 Cowboys take on the 0-4 Eagles. Somebody has to get their first win of the season. Of the 4-0 teams, which ones do you think is the most legit? Can the Cowboys or the Eagles save their season? Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I'll see you next week. Thank you for your time.